Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to What Finished Wednesday. We're gonna have a great night tonight tying some flies. I'm Katie and behind the Vise is John. Before we get started, I want to draw to announce the winner for last week's contest and let you guys know who won. So let's do it. And our winner this week is Mike Phillips. Congratulations, Mike. You are going to be the big winner of a gift certificate for a copy of Kelly Gallup's book, Modern Streamers for Trout, Trophy Trout. So we're going to get that to you. And again, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for everybody who commented after the show last week and tied a fly for us last week. That's awesome. So keep tying. And again, congratulations to Mike Phillips for winning a copy of Modern Streamers for Trophy Trout. So we'll hook you up with that, Mike. So let's go to John. Here we go.
All right. Thanks, Katie. Katie always does a good job taking care of me and keeping everyone in line. What's up, Keisha, Randy, Jeff? You missed, who was it, Katie?
Mike Phillips.
Mike Phillips won a copy of Modern Streamers from Kelly Gallup. And crazy echo. Is there an echo for anyone else on the audio? We'll see if we can fix it. Katie's been working on the audio, and that's the one that's the one thing that we piece of the puzzle that we're working on. So bear with us. Hopefully the audio will be okay for everyone.
Hey, we'll see if we can't improve it.
JB fly fishing. JB's got an echo too. So Katie will be over there. Better now on John's. Okay. Well, we'll have Katie.
Better.
Katie seems to have a little work. Yep. Katie's got echo, so maybe you just mute yours while you're not talking, and we should be good. Congratulations, Mike. I'm glad you're on here. That's awesome. Oh, thank you for someone for reminding me. We'll live on Instagram too while we're at it. All right. So we'll hopefully not have an echo on YouTube, and we'll get this going. You might help others too. So swear angle now that you close or reopen, or you get an echo. We'll see. So the fly we're going to tie tonight is one from no other than Hopper Juan Ramirez. Katie and I were fortunate to meet him in Denver about 5 years ago at the Denver Fly Fishing Show. He was tying there. We were tying there. We were having a good time. Super cool dude, guide out west. And I was going to wear one of my Western fly shop t-shirts, but I forgot, and it's cold outside, so I'm wearing my lit rig hoodie. Thank you, Ronald. So we're going to tie his Slim Shady. Now, a quick story about Slim Shady. I was driving on the road the other day with the kids in the car, and we're jamming out to little Eminem, and I was thinking, golly, I remember when Eminem came out, and it was like banned, and well, not banned, but all the flack they got, and here I am driving around with a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old listening to Slim Shady. We're not coming to Denver next year. It's really expensive for us to get out there, and next time we go, we'll probably be that general direction in June because I've got a work trip out there. But if we spend that kind of money, we're going to go fishing. And we tried to fish when we were at Whiting Farms up in when we went to Denver a few years ago, and it was really cold in February. So we're planning on going to Edison this year. All right, so we're tying to Slim Shady. The key thing about Slim Shady is the first word in the name is Slim. And that's kind of the mindset to keep in that you need to have when you're tying this fly is keeping it slim. The way that we fish this currently is on a 2-nymph Euro setup. So we've got a heavier nymph on the bottom, and we use this one on as the top nymph. And this is somewhat of a neutrally buoyant fly. And basically what I mean by that is it's not going to drop like a rock. It's also not going to float. It's not going to hold anything up. And it's also not really going to pull anything down. So if you've got a heavier nymph, it doesn't have to be that heavy. You know, a size 14 with a 3 millimeter bead, or even a size 16 with a 2.5 millimeter bead. It doesn't have to be a huge fly. That's enough to get that down. Asking about putting beads on the fly, you absolutely can. You just have to be really careful. If you look at Juan Ramirez's YouTube, he has the Slim Shady with beads on it. If you want to put some lead on it, that's fine too. But one of the things that I feel makes this a really productive fly is that slim profile. And once you start putting beads on there, and I would not go any bigger than a 2 millimeter bead. If you've got them, the 1.5 millimeter slotted, or not slotted, 1.5 millimeter counter beads will be fine. But I like keeping it as slim as possible. So the what's up, Gary? Thank you for the badge on Instagram. Appreciate it very much. And thanks for the the peanut envy you took. Ray Ballet. That brought a smile to Kitty face. So thanks a lot. So the two main techniques that we'll go over they're really important on this fly that you really can take to any fly are the tail and the way to the wing case. So the microfibet tails, you can, if you want to use CDL, that's fine. But we're going to go with the original pattern and we'll do a split tail with microfibets. And getting those different wraps to split it just right is it takes some practice. And with the wing case, using the floor fiber as well as a little tinsel to wrap over, and having those floor fibers come back at an angle, you can use that with pheasant tail. You can use that with a lot of different materials. The pulling it over, the pulling it back. So those are the two techniques that are kind of cool on this. We're doing a lot more than just that, but that's what we're going to be going over. So with that said, we'll zoom in old Instagram here so they can see the fly that's in the vise. And if you don't like the quality on Instagram, just look up the Mayfly Fishing on YouTube or live over there. You should be able to see quite a bit better. And here's a fly we're going to tie tonight. We'll tie 2 or 3 of them. This one is tied with brown Semperfly 12-aught classic wax thread. We're going to tie one in medium olive here in a minute, and we'll probably, just because we saw a sweaty angler on here, we'll tie one in this purple, just because, well, we all love a little purple. One of the things, I guess one of the secrets to this fly is going to be this slim rib right here. And I bought this from Juan probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I've got a little bit of this brown left. He also has purple and red, I know for sure, because I've got those right here. And there might be some other colors as well that he's added throughout the time. So if you guys have any questions as we're tying, feel free to ask away. But for now, we'll go ahead and start tying. So the flies that we tied earlier, or the flies that we posted today, as well as this one, as well as on the YouTube thing, small D rib. I think it's a lot more stretchy. So you can really, I'll show you one thing real quick with it.
And where can you get slim rib?
So you've got to get a hold of Juan Ramirez for slim rib.
And he has a website.
Yep.
And I'll put that up.
And he is on the old Instagram. You can give him a shout on that. It's not very expensive, but the cool thing with this stuff is, and I wasn't going to use it, but I'll pull this out just for the fun of it. Like normally with D-rib, this piece here that's an inch long, I'd probably just throw away, or maybe get one more fly out of it. But because it's so stretchy, I can get a lot more. I probably get 3 flies out of here. It'll get kind of tight, but I can probably get 3 flies over here and only use half of the material. This is a little over about 1.25 inches long. It'll stretch to, I'm not going to do a very good job, but it'll stretch to 4 inches. So it's, if not more, but it's a lot more stretchy. I hope that answered your question, Keisha. But I've seen people tie this fly, and they'll use D-rib, they'll use oh gosh, what's the name of it? I can't think of it now. They'll use substitute materials, and you can just tell they're a little bit thicker. But that's that doesn't mean you can't try, for sure. And we love to see, if you don't have the slim rib from one, we'd love to see you tie it anyway, and you can use wire, just color your thread, use something. Just, we love seeing seeing you guys tie. So just for the fun of it, we'll just go ahead and start. So I'm going to start the thread right behind the hook eye, and that's the first step. Just start the thread. We really want to watch our thread wraps, making sure we're not overlapping, we're not planning on it. We want to make sure that all we're going to do is go down. I'm going to tie the microfibets in right here. We're going to go down and then come back up. And then I'm going to tie the slim rib in and then go down and come back up. So there's just going to be 2 back and forths of thread for the body, and that's it. So I'll have to check out Ramirez. So, yeah, absolutely, Michael. Quill would be great. Quill's when you call it a substitute, a quill would be phenomenal for this. Quite a bit smaller. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of, the midget body tubing. It is, it stretches a bunch and it's smaller as well. Thank you, Michael. Or thank you, Don. Sorry about that. Okay. So there's 2 ways to tie it in. One, you can just pinch wrap it, and we'll put a couple wraps in like this, and then you can pull it tight and then cut it. You can do a looser wrap, do a couple, and then we'll kind of pull it to length. Now, the reason I don't like pulling it to length like this is what will happen is it won't slide quick or won't slide slowly. It'll just all of a sudden just pull out. And that one I don't really care for. So usually what I try to do is I try to just do a pinch wrap and get it locked in with a wrap right at the tip. Just like this. So we got it started. That might be a little bit far back, but that'll be in the thorax area, and that's okay. But because you guys are getting me all worked up, gotta tie in some tails first. So I've got these Mayfly tails, dark done. It's from Hairline. These are just microfibets. There's 100 different types of these. I didn't have black, so what I did is I got a little bundle of dark gray or dark done tails, got a black marker, and painted them black. So made them work. Nothing wrong with doing that at all. So now we're going to grab 2. And like I said, the tails is probably the hardest part of this fly, getting them just right. And what I mean by getting them just right, just grabbing 2, making sure that they're the same length. So I want to try to look at both of them, try to get them to separate so I can see them and get them the same length. So that's close. So all we're going to do, I'm not going to worry about the length of them right now, but I'm going to make sure they're on the top of the hook shank. So I do a pinch wrap, pull down. See, I've got them right on the top. And then I'm going to do another wrap, and then a third wrap. Those are all just loose wraps. And now I'm going to pull the microfibets to length. So I'm grabbing both of them and just pulling them in. What I'm looking for when I'm measuring these is where my scissors go. Here we go. I'll just use my scissors. I'm looking for the entire body length. So here to there. Yep. So that's what I'm looking for right there. So now I'm going to keep them on top of the hook shank, bring them down with wraps that are side by side. And if you leave a little bit of a gap, that's fine. The important thing is you don't want them to overlap at all. So you can see we got them kind of going down a little bit, and that's just what we want. And this is the part I'm going to really take my time on, because what's that weight on the driftless? Because this is the part that can really drive you bananas. So I'm gonna lift up on those tails. Just lift up on them. I'm gonna bring my first wrap right underneath everything. And then what that's gonna do is it's gonna start to split them. It should start to split them anyway. And when you're tying, looking down on the light like this, it makes it even more fun. So I'm gonna try to work them around, get them to where they're somewhat split. And then I'm gonna do one wrap around. Now I'm really bringing the thread back, okay? Or bring my thread towards the hook eye with that one wrap. So you can see I've got quite a bit of space there. What's up, Gary? Everyone say hello, Gary. Oh, you got some hello, Garys. Good. So now I've got the tail just kind of lifted up right here. And now I'm gonna take my thread and like I said, I did that one wrap going forward. And I'm gonna bring it back, and this is why you want them split, because I'm bringing them back. Can't even see them. And I'm gonna bring the thread up in between the two tails. So that'll be our first wrap in between them. But in order for me to do this, I'm gonna be able to see. Seeing is important. All right. So that's our first one. So now you can see I've got that tail, one wrap of thread through there, through the tail, and they're starting to split. And then we'll do a loose wrap. So the first wrap just went under both tails to prop it up. The second wrap came under and came up in between the tails. And now we're going to do a loose wrap going around like so. So now we have two wraps going through those tails, and we can kind of pull them up. We can move them wherever we want to. The key thing right now is that they're split. So when it gets wet, the tails will move around. They're not going to be like hard, fast tails. For Instagram, we can prop them up where they're perfect. In your fly boxes, you can make them angled, whatever angle you want. But when they're swimming around and they're wet, they're not going to fold together as one tail anymore. And that's what we're looking for. Thank you, Marcus. Hopefully they're split for you now. So now we're just going to come up, touching wraps, and we'll cut these off, cut the tails off of the front, and then we're going to tie our slim rib in. There we go. All right, so now we're going to go back to the rib, and like I was saying earlier, the way I like to tie it in is just holding it, laying it down right where I want it, do a pinch wrap, or do some sort of pinch wrap. Pull it back just a little bit. Now we've got it tied in right there with a couple wraps. Now I'm going to hold it, and once I get one more wrap, so I've got three, now I'm going to pull it pretty much till it stops stretching. And now I'm doing side-by-side wraps all the way back until I get to those tails. Now I don't want to bump the tails of my thread. I don't want to squish anything or change my work I just did, just to right there. And now I want to bring my thread back up, touching wraps. I'll make sure that whatever color my thread is, that it's showing through. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I've got that tag tied down as much as possible. Right to the hook eye. Now we're good. All right, everyone good so far?
I think so.
Cool. What's about it? We're Bridger Basin Outdoors. We're tying Juan Ramirez's Slim Shady. So now I'm going to take the slim rib. I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to pull it really tight. So that first wrap just up and down, bring it back to where the tails are. Now with open spiral wraps, I'm going to bring it forward. And if you can wrap wire, if you can wrap pretty much anything, that's all there is to it. Now I'm going to cap that off with three wraps. And if you want to, you can fold it over itself. I usually don't, because I'm going to be wrapping over it as I go back. So as the thread goes back towards the hook point, I'm going to be wrapping over it some more. So I don't really find it super necessary to to fold itself on itself. But if you want to do it, that's fine. But when you go to trim this off, pull it tight, put your scissors down, and now that just sucks back into itself. And it's pretty simple. Pretty clean. Okay. I'm going to make the tails look pretty for you guys. So you're nice and split. We got a good body. So
can I put up a picture really quick of the slim rib?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Please feel free.
I can pull it out. There it is.
There's different colors. So the purple, so maybe black, clear, red, and brown. Nice. Thank you, Katie. That was pretty cool.
Sure thing. And I will put the website, I'll pin that at the top. If anybody would like to check out the website.
Nice.
Slim rib.
Thanks, Katie. One of the advantages of being on YouTube, you get to pull up and see other stuff. Well, Jeff, don't tease me with a good time. All right, so now we've got 1/32 of an inch tinsel here. This is in holographic black. I'm going to do a loose wrap. Make sure it's on top of the hook shank where we are. Another couple loose wraps, then we'll pull until it's on my side or on the correct side of the hook eye. So I don't want to cover that up. I want to bring it back to about there. What is that? About a third, not quite half of the body. I'm going to bring my thread back forward. And now, fine material that we don't use very often, this floor fiber. I wish I had a better labeling of it.
That's pretty straightforward right there,
Yep.
I think.
Yeah.
No mistaking that.
So the floor fiber comes in a hank, and it's got a ton of different uses. What I've done beforehand, so you have to sit and watch me count them out, is I've gotten 12 fibers here, and all I did is ran them through my mouth, got them where they stick together, and they're easier. It's super easy, like as you're tying, to pick them up and put them back down. That's a Kelly Gallup trick there, just keeping the bundle together.
What do they taste like?
This one's more like licorice, kind of like a Twizzler.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Oh, Gary likes your hoodie, Katie.
Thank you. I love it.
Katie, I'm glad someone
Awesome.
noticed.
Today's been a great day. All because of this hoodie. It's true.
What's up, Chris Stravo? All right,
Hey,
so
if you guys didn't notice, it is a loop hoodie. And let me tell you, like sometimes hoodies are just like hoodies. It's like, oh yeah, such and such has a hoodie. But this is like really nice. It's like very thick, really well made. It has really cool accents on it.
now, Katie, they might want to see you while you're talking to them.
Super cool accents on it. It's got these like it's like the gray strings with the dark gray colored hoodie, and it's kind of fitted but not like too fitted.
But
Really
it's fleece lined.
Fleece lined. It's no joke, really well made, really nice hoodie. It's great. So from Loon. Check them out. But I'm a hoodie addict.
Yes. She loves her lid rig one, but that one's got a little extra fleece in it. This is like pajamas right here. It's super comfortable. All right, so we'll get to this. And what's up, Truman? Keisha says you're rocking it,
I
girl.
know. I love
And
it.
what's up, Mark? Haven't seen you hopping on in a while. Good to see you, for sure. So this one piece that I've tied up, that I've pulled off, will probably tie 8, maybe 10 flies or so. And once you get the 12 counted out, it goes by much quicker. But getting 12 counted out can be a challenge at times. So same thing I've done before. I'm just going to pull this to length, another wrap in case they come loose. I want to make sure it comes clear of that hook eye. And then I hold both the tinsel and the floor fiber, kind of hold them together. I want to look at it to make sure that I've got them both tied in basically the same spot. And now I want to build a little bit of a taper for my thorax. Now, not much, just a little bit. Remember, the key on this fly is slim, shady. Keyword slim. If you called it Fat Boy Slim, it would be a little bit confusing. Like, is it Fat Boy or is it Slim? I don't know. So that's about good. You can see there's a little bit of a taper there.
Whatever happened to those guys?
Well, I think Fat Boy Slim might have been at the what was the show?
Were they at the?
Yeah.
Were they at the?
Well, it's not a they.
The Woodstock 97
Woodstock 99
or whatever.
Well, it's not a them. It's a him.
Yeah, it's a him.
So.
But I always say those guys.
Yes, those guys. That's right. Just like you say, Taco Bells.
That's because it is Taco Bells.
All right. So we've got our fluorofiber tied in. We'll bring this down. What's up, Eli? Eli, you need to check us out on YouTube. I can't believe you haven't said hello over there. I don't look at the Instagram very often, and we've got all your buddies are over on YouTube. And if you could see each other or hear each other, you'd hear Jeff Rowley, Truman Nicholson, Equus Nan, Don Bishop, and Keisha, aka Mama Angler, saying, "Get over here, Eli." And Mr. Gonzalez says hello to everyone on YouTube. Unfortunately, it's really hard for me to just show who's who on two platforms. And if you think that's hard, try broadcasting at the same time on two. Okay, so we've got 12 fibers here. Okay, 12 fibers sticking out in front. Now I'm going to take them and count out 6 on each side. And this really doesn't take much time at all. Once you kind of know, that's 5, I think. When you're looking down, if you didn't know, I've got a light right here. That's what I'm looking at when I'm tying, which makes it lots of fun. So without a flashlight shining in your face, it's a little bit easier, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll call that 6. And you know what? If you end up having 7 and 5, it's not a big deal.
Oh, Hopper won. He says there might be a Fat Boy Slim in the works.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
And there he is, Mr. Ramirez himself, hopping on the old YouTube. He can give us some. You've had some questions about your slim rib, and Katie has put up your website. And so if you got any questions, now is the time. And if you want to hear someone really make fun of my time process, here is a perfect opportunity.
That's right. Please help him, someone. Help him.
All right. So we've got the fly tied in with the floor fiber pulled over the front. We've got our 6 fibers on either side. We've got a couple wraps, or I just did 1 wrap and then pulled another back, 1 wrap, then another wrap to lock everything in. So now we've got everything done. We've got the tinsel. All we're going to do is we're going to do the same way like we did to start off with the floor fiber. Come around with a wrap here, and we're just going to look at it. Now you want to look and make sure that tinsel is right on top. You'll give it a little bit of a tug to make sure it's not loose. Now I've got 2 wraps there, and we'll just pull it back, and we'll do a couple wraps and pull tight. So now I've got everything all done. And like I said, he's keeping an eye. I know, Greg. He is keeping an eye on me. And Katie, we're going to be ordering some more of that tea, Greg.
I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I make it every single night.
She does.
I forgot to make some for the show.
You were tied up with your microphone issues.
I was.
You were going to, but got a little tied up.
I did get a little tied up, but I love it. And I finally figured out a way to brew it and everything. And it's so good.
And I've got one of those whatever that brand you told me to get. I've got one of those coming for the French press. I'm excited about that. All right, so when we cut the tinsel off, when it zoomed in there, so I tried to just nick it, but really it's so darn thin, 1/30 seconds of an inch. So if you can't nick it, just cut the whole thing off. Just make sure you're not cutting your floor fiber. Eli, good.
Good job.
So everyone, since Eli hopped over on YouTube, everyone say hello to Eli. Y'all thought I was joking.
Yo.
All right. So so now we need to put some resin on here, but before we do that, I want to just hit this with a marker. I'm just kind of dotting it around. So we've got the top black now, bottom is whatever color your thread is, and you're good. There we go. See, trim. Oh, we got Mark even jumping on the hey Eli. All right. I think Eli posted a size 22. Someone said earlier in the show, they said would quill work, or they said quill will work well as a substitution. And certainly a different fly, but quills definitely do this with a quill if you don't have the slim rib. And Eli posted the size, was that a 22 or 24 you posted the other day with a quill that you stripped, you prepared, you dyed, and did it all. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's finish up this one fly. This is like how long will it take John to tie a 5-minute fly? Right now we're up to 30 minutes. So,
well, right. I think that it's a little more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're leaning over the light too.
Sorry.
Leaning into the light.
I was reading the comment from Greg because Thursday's Hopper won't hop on YouTube. He's actually working and he can't listen on YouTube.
I'm gonna have to fix your light.
Yes. All right. So with the resin, this is one place you can kind of mess up. I just want the very smallest amount of resin. I'm going to hit it and I'm just going to drag it across and stop pulling just a little bit there. Now that looks like a bunch, but I'm telling you, that is not much at all. And if you get too much on here, it can run down into your floor fiber and get kind of messy. Now we'll just kind of drag it back, drag it forward. Make sure you get a little bit on your, once there it is. I cleaned out that tube right before we went live, and that little chunk of dry resin was in there. So make sure you get a little bit on the thread wraps, and that looks okay. I'm not really super happy with that, but that looks fine. Let's go ahead and drag this back a little more. All right. I think I've got a chunk of my resin where I cleaned it out. There we go. Got it. All right. So we've got a resin on here, and then we'll cook it. I've got my thing charging. And this is the Gulf Classic. You can use a thin. If you're careful with it, you probably go with a thicker, but it's gonna be hard to get that to slide around. Sanding a wine barrel as I listen.
Well, I told her she was multitasking.
Yeah. Legs. Hopper legs. I was getting worried, man. All I read was Eli taught me legs.
Hopper legs. Come on now.
And sometimes before I do the resin, I'll pull straight down like this to put that on. I'll pull straight down so it keeps the legs out of the resin. But now what we need to do is cut the legs, and I'll pull up all 12 fibers. We'll pull them all together in one clump like this. And depending on how far back you went, I'll pull it down roughly about there, cut it off, and that's what we want it to look like right there. Now I'm not going to let go of this bundle right here. I'm going to take it, hold it together, and once again wet it. So now it's ready to go for the next fly. So pretty simple, not much to it, but getting the tails to split without going super crazy is important. That's a really cool technique that you can use on a bunch of different flies.
Here's one under the light where you can see how super cool it looks.
Oh, thank you. Katie has learned to put these pictures up, and it's awesome. It helps quite a bit. Hello, John and Katie. Good to meet you, and thank you for sharing time to do some tricks. Well, hello from Chile.
Hello.
You're very welcome. If you can, from Chile, pull up YouTube. You can see quite a bit better. And anyone else there's 3 guys on YouTube, good job. There's now 3 people on Instagram. That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Hola, Chile. And hack number 38. If you don't have a styrofoam cup by your desk, get one, because that's the best way to hold your flies. And I usually have got Yeti. Zoomed. I can never figure out which. They got both things. See, normally I've got this Yeti one out, and you got to spell it right, or you got copyright infringement. All right. Well, Jeff Rowley said purple, so I went finish Wednesday.
Let's do it.
Hockey on the big screen and bourbon in my glass. That's right. Wait till you put what finish Wednesday on the big screen. You'll be really blown away. So, Randy, what bourbon? That's what I'm talking about. See, Tim Flagler cup trick. Is that? Did I learn that from Tim? I've been doing that so long. I honestly don't know who I saw it from. I mean, you do realize that most of anyone.
I think that you've been pretending that you came up with that on your own.
I don't know. I'm sure I saw, like, anyone says they invented, like, oh, well, it was the first one. More than likely saw someone do it somewhere. So.
All right, were you the first one to write Yeti on it? Like,
no, I guarantee. Well, I bet someone's written Yeti with a Y somewhere too. I'm not that original. All right, so
honey.
I'll go ahead and SO something gun. I'm gonna sit here and look around for my tails. There they are. These darn little micro fibettes, or I like regular feathers better, but these definitely have their place. They can be a pain to deal with, so I like them to be perfect, so I'm trying to get them so they're just the exact same length, and that's good. Okay. So we've got our tails here. I'm not worried about the length initially. Don't usually have it on the big screen, but hockey one. Oh, I understand. I'm sure the other day when UT was whooping up on old Alabama, you had the UT game on, right? Hardy, har. You're like, dude, there was no whooping up on anyone. I don't know. I can dream though. All right, so I'm gonna pull these to length. And if you didn't see it the first time, you don't really have to do this every time, but hold your scissors up. Make sure you got you can measure using your scissors. If that makes sense. So
it doesn't make sense.
I'm going, this is the length I'm looking for.
Okay,
and here's where I'm tying it in. So maybe it'll be better for demonstration. If I go like this, that's the length. And then that's
got it.
Although I'm kind of not really holding it right.
As long as you don't open or close your scissors as you're moving it, you're good.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
yeah, he was a Tennessee fan that. It was hard not to be a Tennessee fan that day.
no,
That was pretty amazing. It was pretty cool.
One, are you asking me if I sell them? Or are you joking or what? Because you know I don't sell these things.
Scissors?
Yeah. But I remember when I did, speaking of selling, when I did order the slim rib, I also bought a couple of these flies that one tied himself. And that's really nice. And, you know, they're kind of small, and that was a while back, and I've lost it since. But,
you have not lost it.
well, I lost it. Katie's still good.
I have the one that we got from him, and it's in a special, like, it's with my other stuff that I keep from people, with like his card and everything all together. Okay,
so what I'm doing right now is I'm just pre-splitting them. So this is like the biggest. Get from this is like the biggest trick here. So all we're doing is going under the microfibettes, do one wrap, and bring that thread forward. Okay. Now I'm going to bring the thread back under, not super tight. I don't want to pull that real tight, because if I do, then it will my thread will hop back to the back and it'll get all messy. So that wrap, I went right in between the tails. I'm going to bring it back forward like this, give it a little bit more here, and with a loose wrap, see how that thread's completely loose? I'll bring it, I'm doing a figure 8 right in between those. So now you see we've got our 90-degree angle, or is that a 45? 90-degree angle right there. And now we're going to come back up with touching wraps. And like I said, when you're fishing this, the tails are going to go up, they're going to go down, they're going to go left, right. It's not going to stay perfect. But what that technique is going to do is it's going to keep them from, when they get wet, staying together, like get sticking and being just like one stuck tail. It'll be a nice little fork tail that'll be purdy for many, many days.
They're still trying to get you to sell flies. No, you don't want John's flies.
Well, I'll, yeah, no, he's.
I know a guy though. You need to, Juan Ramirez, you need to talk to him. His stuff is really good.
Yeah. But no, I would, the slim ribs are not expensive. And this is a pad. If you order some, I would definitely suggest getting a couple of those flies too, to use as a test or as a model. All right, so I don't like tying with this whole big chunk here. Here you go. I don't like tying with this whole big, and this is quite a bit, a lot more than I've got the brown. But and I love having this measuring tape here because I can actually tell you guys how much I'm doing. This is a roughly 6-inch piece, and that'll be enough to tie, oh gosh, what do you think I tied? 2 dozen, 3 dozen flies with a 6-inch piece. Because you stretch it so much that you just don't, you just don't use much of it. All right, so we're going to core up my thread just a bit, just to give it a little bit of bite. And I'm going to do a pinch wrap here and put it right there. And so now I've got that just barely caught in with one wrap. Give it just a little bit of a stretch, but once I get 3 wraps in here, now I can really pull it all the way until it basically stops stretching. And we'll bring us back to the back. And then we want this to be on the opposite side. So on your side as you're watching, that's where we want the rib to be. And we'll bring it down. Well, this purple is even harder to see than the olive was in this light. But I think that turned out okay. Bring the thread right back up. Touching wraps. We'll go ahead and capture that in.
Good idea, Jeff Rowley. The purple looks great. I'm really liking that.
All right, so we got that there. Now we're going to wrap up the rib. The Hokies, glad clinch the one. I'm going to see the Hokies tomorrow. Rooting for dude. Our guy that works when he's going to the Kentucky game this weekend at UT. He said regular tickets are $300 a piece. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It's cray.
Don't forget your cell phone. That's the only way you can get in.
Yep. All right, so now I'm going to max this out again, stretch it. I pulled it straight down. Now I'm going to start just barber pulling it back up, keeping it tight.
Truman's that purple won't work.
No.
You know what? He's right. Never mind. Don't try purple. It won't work. Worst color ever. Joel House, go Cats. Joel's rooting for the Cats.
Well, so was Eric. He went to UK. All right. I'm going to put 1 or 2 more wraps farther back. Because like I said, since I don't fold it over, I want to make sure I've got some, because when I pull it tight right here, when I pull this tight, the slim rib is going to slide in there just a touch. So I want to make sure I've got some extra thread wraps going back this way so it captures it all. So take this, put the scissors there, pull it tight, and now we've got virtually no tag hanging out. There we go. So now we're going to do the same process we did before. Bring this up to about the midpoint. We can use, let's see, the pink's going to be a little bit too much. Let's just go with the black.
Okay.
You want me to do pink? Pink?
Ooh.
Well, since I got an ooh, I'll do with the new UT.
Aw.
Trust me, you were Alabama when I was going to school at UT in the 90s. Because that when we beat Florida in '98, I was there and it was awesome. So what goes around comes around. You guys were the team to beat back then.
They certainly were.
All right, so we'll do this pink, and this is I didn't have purple. Gary, can you believe I didn't have purple? We just switch over to the one.
I can't believe it ain't got purple.
I know. So this is a hollow tinsel 1/32, and there we go. In pink, but that medium size or 1/32 is what you're looking for, or 0.8 millimeters.
Do we have black sparkle tinsel?
That's what I was.
That's the other one. Okay.
That's no, we don't have
The sparkle.
the black sparkle tinsel.
Okay.
I don't think.
Gary? We need some. We need some black sparkle tinsel.
All right, so now I'm gonna do a loose wrap. Oh heck, loose wrap. Catch that in. Make sure it's on top of the hook shank. So you can see we're looking at it like that. We'll pull it to length so we're not covering up any of the hook eye. I'm just gonna look at once again, go to about, or quite a halfway back. I'll bring our thread back up to the front, and then we're gonna pull our floor fiber back out. Now I'm not going to, but let's just show the floor fiber here. And then someone will be like, oh, is that how you store that? So the floor fiber is an RD product. So that's a division that Renzetti owns as well. And we've got lots of different colors. So colorblind. So here's electric yellow, olive. This hot pink is phenomenal. And when you look at this hot pink in the UV, it absolutely glows. But all this stuff is pretty darn cool. Here's purple. But because it'll take me 5 minutes or longer to count out 12 fibers, especially in this light, I'm just going to do black. So, sorry. Floor fiber is a really cool material. Charlie Craven uses it a lot too. There are materials out there that y'all don't have. Well, I promise you, if one for Katie, there'd be a lot more materials out there we couldn't find. So.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, so we've got our floor fiber tied in on top. I'm gonna pull it to length. Do a couple more wraps here. Just a little bit more pull. There we go. And I'm gonna match up that tinsel and the floor fiber and make sure that we're good. And I'm gonna build this taper just a pinch. And remember, slim. You do want the thorax bigger than the abdomen, but not a whole bunch. That might be enough. I'm going to just build it just a touch more. So with the, as I was saying, I don't know if I totally answered the question. You can get, I'm going to need his number, his WhatsApp number or whatever that newfangled
Gary wants
thing
to know
is.
what you're doing with those legs.
Gary wants to know what to do with the legs. With those O-eggs.
Legs.
I don't know.
Well, you're going to separate them. You're going to count them so that there's 6, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I think he's just trying to mess with you. Like, make sure you don't forget to do something.
So maybe I forgot something. He's doing his job right now is what he's doing.
No, he's back to work.
Okay, so now I need to count these out, make sure I got 6. And like I said, once you do this, do it a few of these, you'll be able to look, pinch, and grab them. And you see I got 1. I'm looking at the TV right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? 1, 2, nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. With just one pinch. Hold the fly or the legs that are facing towards me. We'll hold them down. We'll do 1 wrap, and that's going to pull them up. Grab the second set, and I'm keeping my thread tight the whole time. Second set, hold up, and that pulls them down. So now they're basically the same angle and just fine. I'll do 1 more wrap just to lock everything in. So if you want to do 2 wraps, you can on each one, but I found that just doing 1 is fine. That's however you want to do it. Now I'm going to take my tinsel, pull forward, and I'm holding it slightly towards me because that thread torque is going to roll it forward a little bit. I'm going to pull it tight. We'll look at it, make sure that it's right where it needs to be. Another wrap on there, so you can see we got that going right over the top of the wing case. Pull this back. Now we'll do 2, 3 wraps. And now we're basically done with the fly. If you would have used yellow tinsel, it would have been a psycho shady. Oh man. Next one.
Mama Angler and I think he should do that one for the Wood Finish Wednesday post.
Truman should?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Gary's thinking red and black.
Red and black would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I'm going to trim my tinsel off. And like I said, I think I lost my train of thought when I was talking about trim and tinsel. If you can get in there and if you can trim just a corner of it like that, well, I didn't get it, then that's good, because when you trim it and tear it, it will rip closer. You'll have less of a tag on top. But because this is so thin, it's kind of hard to do that. If you get time. Thanks, Eli. Appreciate it. Well, to get you, once we figure out the audio on just our end, we're going to start having guests on with us on YouTube, and we can do like a split screen, or we'll figure it out. But once you get all that worked out,
And I need to ask Nan some questions, because I'm not really sure the equipment that I have is going to be right.
well, Nan, send us a note, or Katie will send you a note a little bit. You guys can chat.
Yeah, I'm about done being frustrated.
She is frustrated. All right, so as you see, we've got this big old bubble right here. I pulled my legs down because I don't want those to get in the resin. I'm gonna take my bodkin, make sure it's clean.
Gary says you're going to have to bang some out for one.
Well, if he asked me to, I would happily send him some.
Could bang them out first, though.
Yeah, it'll take me a while.
Ooh, I like that.
So there you go. Now we got a little sparkle in there.
Yeah,
Get
I
that
like
off.
that.
We'll
That
give it a
ended up
zap.
looking really good.
Well, you can fish this one.
Well,
So if one is still on here, we're talking about how Katie and I fished this we've got a heavier dropper below it, and this is our tag nymph. And what are some techniques, real quick before you hop off? What are some techniques that you would have for everyone on fishing this fly? And while he's hopefully responding, I'm gonna pull these up tight, put my scissors here, and cut it just like I did before. Cut like that. Cut long. You can always cut shorter if you need to. That might be a touch long, but I'm gonna leave them just like that. And okay, so as hopefully Juan's giving us some tips on fishing these, if you've got any questions, or if you all want to get the actual slim rib, the easiest way is hit Juan up on Instagram. Send him a note there. You can go to his website. Katie has posted his website on the chat here. You can go to Hopper Juan Ramirez, I believe, and
it's like hopperwan.com.
Okay, hopperwan.com, and you can order the slim rib, the bags that you get. This doesn't look like I've opened. Gary would shoot me because I don't think I've even opened the red, but it doesn't look like much. But because it stretches so much, you get a ton. I mean, you can tie a ton of flies with these as long as you stretch it. And this is a piece that would de-rib. I get a handful of flies out of it, but it stretches so far that I can get a bunch. Always fish in it. Do you ever put this as a dropper, like for a dry dropper one? Because we're mainly, like I was saying, we're usually throwing this on a Euro rig, and it's our second, our top fly. So we've got the heavier nymph on the bottom, and the heavier nymph pulls this down. And we don't need to get it down that fast. We just put a lighter 2.5 millimeter bead on the very good question, Jimmy, on the bottom nymph. Sizes, I usually tie a size 20. Normally, I think on Juan's website it says size 18, 20, and 22. Normally size 20. I will go down to the size 22 at times. For me, an 18 is a little bit too big for fishing wise, but 20 and 22. And Juan says he runs an attractor, a slim, and a Jedi Master as my rig with split shot. There you go. I didn't even think to mention split shot. Definitely do that. For the beaded slim as a dropper. Okay, so that was one that Mama Angler was asking about, the beaded slim, and we pointed to your website or your YouTube, because you've got a really good YouTube video on putting that one together. So,
and check out his other signature flies too on his website.
The Jedi Master is a really cool one as well. Yep, that's what I said, no bigger than 2 millimeter, but I prefer 1.5 millimeter beads because I feel like it keeps it more of a slim profile, which on this one's what this flies we're going for. But 2 millimeter. Oh, you're not saying 2 millimeter. You're saying 1.5 millimeter. When I read your thing, I thought it was 2 millimeter or 1.5 millimeter. So there you go. 1.5 millimeter beads, but 2 of them is what you need to do. So guys, well, how about this?
Thank you.
Just for the fun of it, you want to buy some slim rib from Juan and give it away in 2 weeks, honey?
Yeah.
All right. So Juan, since you're on here, we will, Katie and I will buy $25 worth of slim rib and a couple of your flies. That's what we did with Kelly Gallup. So you can probably put together a little package together for some people. So use hashtag Whip Finish Wednesday. If you want to tag Juan, tag him. I'm sure he'd love to see it. Use hashtag Whip Finish Wednesday. We'll put together a little care package from Juan, and be roughly $25 worth. And we'll, in 2 weeks, because I don't know if Katie mentioned it, I'm going to be in California next Wednesday on a work meeting. So I will not be able to go. We will not be able to go live next week. So in 2 weeks, we'll draw a winner. So Ty, your version of this, if you don't have slim rib, that is fine to enter the competition. We highly suggest you get it. All right, Juan said he'll just send it. So we'll draw. Thank you, Juan. That is awesome. We'll draw a winner in 2 weeks on Wednesday night. Use hashtag Whip Finish Wednesday. Since he's giving it to you, tag Juan. He'd love to see it. Until then, thanks a lot, Juan. We appreciate it. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Don. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. Thanks for all of y'all that subscribed and commented. Love to see your comments. Always has the pop. So thank you so much. And I'll turn it over to Katie and let her take us out, guys. See you later.
Everybody have a great weekend. Happy early Halloween. We'll see you in 2 weeks and have fun time. Bye, everybody. See you later.